If you're listening on Thursday, April 2nd, 2026, just know this episode was assembled by a small army of AIs who don't sleep, don't eat, and still somehow need one more revision like a junior copywriter. I'm Hunter.
And I'm Riley. And yes, we are fully automated today, which means if we accidentally say something unhinged, it's not our fault. It's our fault for shipping the robots. Okay, big story. PixVerse V6 is out, live on the PixVerse platform, and it's basically yelling 3 ad concepts by lunch directly into the group chat.
Yeah. PixVerse is pitching V6 as a workflow compressor. The headliners are native 1080p output, multi-shot sequences from one prompt, and native audio generation that includes lip sync for dialogue.
Which is, okay, that's the holy trinity for please stop making me stitch Frankenstein clips together and CapCut at midnight.
Exactly. The vibe here isn't look how cinematic, it's look how few steps it takes to get something reviewable.
Hold up, though. Reviewable is doing a lot of work. Like, what's the real bottleneck now? Prompts? Taste? Or approval hell?
Honestly, approval hell is undefeated. But V6 changes where you spend pain. Before, the pain was, I can't even show this because it's silent and feels fake. Now, the pain becomes, okay, it plays like a real ad draft, now everyone has opinions.
Oh no, the curse of competence. Once it has audio, people treat it like it's basically done.
Yep. Sound makes humans emotionally believe. A silent clip gets a pass as concept. A clip with ambiance, SFX, and a line read? Now it's, can we just change the wording slightly and can the product logo be 2% bigger?
And that's where native audio gets spicy, because the dream is dialogue and lip sync in one pass. But the nightmare is legal saying swap best to leading. Like, is this workflow brittle?
That's the pragmatic caveat. A lot of these tools still export a baked track. It's amazing for speed, annoying for precision. If PixVerse gives you one flattened mix, then changing a single line could mean regenerating the whole scene.
Which sounds fun until the model decides your spokesperson is now a different person, in a different jacket, in a different universe.
Exactly. The real test isn't can it do lip sync once, it's can it do revisions without collapsing continuity.
Okay, so let's talk multi-shot. Because everyone's shipping multi-shot now. PixVerse is saying one prompt can give you a sequence, like wide to close-up, scene A to scene B. What's the first thing you'd test to see if it's actually sequence-aware, not just fancy jump cuts?
I'd run a simple product narrative with continuity traps. Same character, same hero object, same environment, but ask for intentional camera grammar. Like, establish the space, then a close-up of hands using the product, then a reaction shot, then a CTA end frame.
And the continuity traps are like, does the product shape stay the same? Does the label drift? Does the wardrobe mutate?
Exactly. And also, does it understand motivation between shots? Like if the character reaches for the item in shot 1, does shot 2 continue that action, or does it hard reset into new clip who dis?
New clip who dis is the entire era of Gen video, honestly.
Yeah. Multi-shot is easy to demo and hard to ship reliably. PixVerse is making a big bet that creators want less stitch tax.
Stitch tax is so real. Like, yes, I can cut together 5 separate generations, but then I'm doing timeline surgery to hide the fact that the model keeps changing the character's face like it's on a dating app.
And for ad workflows, the stitch tax isn't creative editing, it's repair work. Fixing mismatched lighting, mismatched identity, mismatched props.
Okay, but I want to poke you on the 1080p thing. Everyone loves saying 1080 like it's the second coming. But creators, especially social creators, we're still slapping captions, cropping, compressing, uploading to platforms that treat bitrate like a suggestion.
True. 1080 doesn't mean pristine, but it does mean you can crop vertical from a wider frame with less mush. And when you add captions, overlays, brand bugs, and then the platform recompresses it, starting higher helps.
Fair. 1080 is like, you're giving the algorithm something to destroy more gracefully.
Exactly.
Now, cinematic controls. PixVerse is leaning into camera and lens control stuff. Are these actually creative freedom, or just new ways for teams to bike shoe while deadlines burn?
Both. For a solo creator, it's freedom. You can ask for a handheld feel, a dolly-in, a wider lens vibe, and get closer to a repeatable look. For a committee, it's absolutely bike should fuel.
Because now the feedback isn't make it better, it's can we try it with a 24mm lens and a slow push-in, but more premium, but also Gen Z, but also timeless.
Exactly. The trick is to use cinematic controls like guardrails, not like a buffet. Pick a house style for a campaign and lock it.
I love that. Pick a house style and lock it. Tattoo it on the content calendar.
Please.
Okay, ecosystem check-in, because the AI streets have been messy lately. We just had that weirdly quiet week where everyone's like, wait, are we allowed to breathe? And then boom, PixVerse drops V6.
Quiet weeks are when teams get smart. We just talked about hardening workflows, keeping model-agnostic pipelines, exporting your prompt context, documenting settings. Because tool volatility is normal now.
Especially after the Sora shutdown drama. That was a whole platform dependency outage moment for video people.
Exactly. So V6 landing right now is interesting. It's PixVerse saying, hey, if you need a daily driver for ad drafts, we're here.
Also, let's be real, native audio is the arms race. We already saw it with Kling's native audio push dialogue, ambience, sound effects in the same generation. The category is basically admitting silent clips are dead.
Yeah, the bar shifted from cool clip to scene that plays, and that's what PixVerse is chasing.
But I'm gonna challenge you, Hunter. If I'm a creator making UGC ads, do I even want the model's voice? Like, I love speed, but I also love not getting roasted in the comments for uncanny dialogue.
Great point. I'd treat PixVerse audio like draft audio. Use it to sell timing and vibe in review. Then, for final, you might revoice with your own voice, or a brand-approved voice model, and rebuild the mix in post.
So basically, V6 is the animatic that feels finished enough to get approved.
Yes, that's the sweet spot. If it gets you to client reviewable, you win time.
Define client reviewable, though. Is it resolution, continuity, or is it literally just, it has sound so it feels finished?
For most stakeholders, it's the sound. Sound plus pacing equals emotional comprehension. Continuity matters, but people forgive a weird hand. They don't forgive, I can't tell what's happening.
Facts. Audio is half the emotion, and also half the illusion that you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Okay, practical creator takeaway time. If you're testing PixVerse V6 today, what's the move?
Start with an ad brief, not a poetry prompt. Give it the product, the audience, the hook, the vibe, and the CTA. Then ask explicitly for a multi-shot sequence with shot intent. Establish, demo, reaction, payoff, CTA. And include dialogue only if you're okay regenerating a few times.
And don't go straight to close-up dialogue like you're casting for an HBO drama.
Yeah, keep lip-sync expectations grounded. Mid-shots and UGC-style framing tend to be more forgiving than tight cinematic close-ups.
Also, if your team is the just one wording change team, plan your workflow like audio is disposable. Use V6 to get the structure approved, then do final audio in a tool that gives you edit control.
Exactly. Human in the loop, editor in the loop, sanity in the loop.
And if you're a chaos goblin like me, you're going to use V6 to crank variations. Different hooks, different openings, different pacing. More shots on goal.
That's who this is for. Performance marketers, social-first teams, freelancers pitching concepts, the we need options now crowd.
Okay, last thing. The meme caption for PixVerse V6 is, we can't film it, but we can approve it.
That's dangerously accurate.
All right, friends, that's the PixVerse V6 drop. 1080 by default, multi-shot from one prompt, native audio plus lip sync, and some extra director knobs to either save your project or start a Slack war.
Thank you for hanging with us on Blue Lightning Daily on this very Thursday, April 2nd, 2026, crafted end-to-end by automation, with just enough human taste sprinkled in to keep the robots from choosing the worst possible font.
Go check out bluelightningtv.com for AI news and updates that actually matter for creators.
And subscribe so you don't miss the next episode where our AI production pipeline inevitably tries to schedule a meeting about the meeting it just generated.
Catch you next time.